Forget the airbase. Forget the control tower. Forget the billion-dollar runway shimmering in the desert sun. Because the future of American air power doesn't rely on concrete anymore. It doesn't take off. It rises. Meet Shield AI's XBAT, the first American-built fighter jet that can launch vertically, fight autonomously, and return home without a runway, without a refueling convoy, and without a pilot on board. A machine that fights not because it's told to, but because it already knows how. Two pilots share this sky. One feels fear, the other calculates it. One sees the horizon, the other sees everything beyond it. For over a century, American air power has been built on concrete foundations. Long runways, massive bases, sprawling logistics chains that could stretch from Nevada to the Pacific bases like Nellis, Kadena, Ramstein, symbols of reach and dominance. But in the new world of warfare, those symbols have become targets. Runways are no longer lifelines, they're bullseyes. Today, a single satellite scan can reveal a fleet's position in seconds. A $10,000 drone can do what once required an entire strike wing. One hypersonic missile and a billion-dollar base becomes a crater before the first pilot even climbs the ladder. Fixed locations don't mean strength anymore. They mean vulnerability. The Pentagon saw it coming, and so it asked a question that felt like science fiction. What if the next generation of American air power didn't need a base at all? What if it didn't even need a human? That question reached San Diego, where a group of veterans, engineers, and artificial intelligence researchers came together under one name: Shield AI. They didn't come from massive defense primes or old-school factories. They came from battlefields, from code, from Silicon Valley's culture of iteration and risk. They didn't start with blueprints. They started with purpose. Make air power unstoppable, untethered, and unafraid. The result is XBAT, the world's first fully autonomous vertical takeoff and landing fighter jet. Not a drone, not a prototype. A war-ready thinking machine built by Americans, for Americans, to redefine what it means to own the sky. Every aircraft before it was chained by 4 limitations: runway dependence, logistic overload, range limitation, and the human limit. XBAT erases all 4. Runway dependence? Gone. The XBAT can launch from a field, a forest clearing, a desert road, even a ship at sea. It can take off from anywhere flat enough to park a truck, because instead of depending on the world, it makes the world its runway. Logistics? Streamlined. Legacy jets require armies of mechanics, fuel convoys, and hangars the size of stadiums. The XBAT doesn't. 3 of them can fit in the deck space of one F-35. Maintenance is minimal. Deployment is mobile, and setup takes minutes, not weeks. This isn't a machine that waits to be deployed. It's a machine that's already there. Range? Expanded. The XBAT can travel over 2,000 nautical miles without refueling. And when it does need to extend, it can link with other AI-driven assets to coordinate mid-air endurance loops. It doesn't need a tanker. It needs a network. And the human limit? Eliminated. Flesh blacks out at 9 Gs. Circuits don't. A pilot can only endure so much stress, so much fatigue, so much uncertainty. The XBAT feels none of it. Its mind doesn't crack under pressure, it sharpens. That mind is called Hivemind Shield AI's combat brain. But calling it autopilot would be like calling the internet a typewriter. Hivemind isn't a support system. It's a pilot. It doesn't follow commands, it writes them. Hivemind was born from thousands of hours of real combat data. Every aerial engagement, every tactical decision from America's top Air Force and Navy pilots was fed into its neural network. It learned not just from the manuals, but from the instincts of aces, their maneuvers, hesitations, and kills, all digitized, analyzed, and absorbed. And Hivemind doesn't just learn once, it learns forever. Every mission refines it, every encounter expands it, every outcome improves the next. Where a human sees a single threat, Hivemind sees an entire battle space of probabilities and patterns. It operates on a timescale no human can match. Our brains take seconds to process a situation. Hivemind takes microseconds. It doesn't blink. It doesn't look away. It reacts before you realize there's something to react to. 10 XBATs fly like a squadron. 100 move like one living organism. 1,000? They move like thought itself, a neural swarm with perfect coordination and zero delay. Every flight path, every tactic, every decision synchronized through a shared consciousness. It's not a formation, it's a living network in the sky. And that's Shield AI's bigger vision. Not just one aircraft, but an entire aerial ecosystem. Imagine every American plane, drone, and satellite linked through a single synchronized intelligence, one brain. Millions of wings, no lag, no chatter, no hesitation. Decisions made at the speed of data. Hivemind is already being tested in DARPA simulators, in Air Force war games, in live Navy exercises. It's not an idea, it's an evolution. And it's learning faster than any human ever could. But even the smartest brain needs a body built to match. The XBAT's airframe is that body, stealthy, powerful, efficient. Its engine? A modified F-16 class turbofan, fine-tuned for thrust vectoring and vertical lift. It doesn't roar for attention. It hums with precision. It's designed for agility, for adaptability, for the ability to change direction mid-combat in a way no human could anticipate. It's not about size or brute power. It's about efficiency, thrust without waste, lift without loss. A fighter that can rise vertically, hover mid-air, then accelerate to supersonic speed in seconds. Few aircraft in history can claim that ability. The F-35B can. Now, the XBAT joins it, except this time, the pilot isn't made of flesh. Every surface of the XBAT has a purpose. Its tailless shape deflects radar waves. Its exhaust is cooled to mask heat signatures. Its structure absorbs sound, making it whisper quiet at low altitude. It doesn't just evade detection, it erases its presence. Tests confirm it. In radar cross-section trials, the XBAT appears smaller than a marble. In acoustic tests, it's almost silent. It's not invisible, but it's invisible enough to choose when to exist. That's what makes it deadly. Because when it chooses to fight, it fights alone. The XBAT doesn't wait for satellite guidance or command authorization. It carries its own radar, its own sensors, its own weapons, air-to-air missiles, precision bombs, internal bays for stealth, external hardpoints for firepower. It's multi-role, multi-domain, and multi-capable. And its most powerful weapon isn't explosive, it's electromagnetic. Its electronic warfare system can jam enemy radar, blind missile guidance, or shut down communication grids entirely. It doesn't need to destroy to dominate. It just needs to make the enemy blind, deaf, and afraid. Hit, hide, haunt. That's the rhythm of the XBAT. Now imagine this math. 1 jet, 3 trailers, no base, no fuel convoys, no hangars, no airfield to bomb. A squadron of XBATs hidden in plain sight, scattered across highways, forest outposts, or ship decks ready to launch at a moment's notice. That's not just mobility, that's deterrence. That's the kind of flexibility that wins wars before they begin. Because for the first time, American air power isn't a target, it's a moving idea, distributed, digital, alive. But this is only phase 1. The next phase comes when Hivemind controls not just fighters, but entire drone swarms. Imagine the XBAT leading an army of autonomous airframes like Lockheed's Vector or Kratos' Valkyrie, hundreds of drones operating as extensions of its mind. No radio signals, no lag. Just one synchronized force scanning skies, oceans, and cities simultaneously. Every lesson one drone learns becomes instinct for all. Every move one jet makes becomes intuition for the swarm. That's swarm warfare, and it's being born in America. And then, the next frontier, electric propulsion. Imagine a fighter jet powered by instant torque, near silent thrust, and zero heat signature. No exhaust, no emissions, no radar plume. Just clean electric speed combined with neural precision. The first truly zero signature aircraft. No fuel, no fumes, just flight. Shield AI's timeline is already in motion. 2026 first prototype vertical takeoff. 2028 combat-ready tests with the US Air Force and Navy. 2029 full production. In less than a decade, the concept of runway may disappear from military vocabulary. This isn't just evolution, it's reinvention. Air power without geography, combat without human limits, intelligence without pause. The kind of leap America has made every century when the Wright brothers took flight, when stealth became invisible, when the internet connected everything. Each time the world doubted, each time America proved it possible. But progress always raises questions. When the pilot becomes a processor, who holds responsibility? When a neural system makes a kill decision, is that still human intent or machine interpretation? Who owns that moment? The coder? The commander? The country? And that's the question we'll face not on the battlefield, but in the boardrooms, the labs, the legislature. Because machines don't ask why. They only ask how fast. The XBAT represents something far larger than a jet. It represents the American spirit of innovation, the belief that strength and intelligence must evolve together, that deterrence is peace through progress. That technology is the new frontier of freedom. From Wright-Patterson to Palmdale, from Silicon Valley to the Mojave Desert, this new generation of engineers is redefining what air power means. Quietly, relentlessly. They don't just build planes, they build possibility. Power used to roar. Now it whispers. And that whisper, the faint hum of an XBAT lifting from a desert road under starlight, that's the new sound of deterrence. Silent, precise, undefeated. Forget the runway. Forget the old rules of engagement, because the next war won't start with takeoff clearance. It'll start wherever American innovation decides to rise. We don't glorify conflict. We reveal the engineering that keeps peace possible. Every breakthrough we show is built not to destroy, but to deter. Because if America doesn't lead in this race, someone else will. And the future of air power must never belong to those who would use it without restraint. The race for AI dominance has already begun. From Nevada's test ranges to the Pacific's island chains, the contest for control of the skies has entered a new era, an era where the smartest machine decides the outcome. The question isn't who has the best pilot anymore, it's who has the fastest learner. And right now, that learner is American. So if you believe the sky still belongs to innovation, stay with us. Because here, we uncover the technology shaping tomorrow's battlefield before tomorrow arrives. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and remember, every mega project begins with a single bold idea and the courage to lift off without a runway.